च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. So today we're going to study one or two verses from the Bhagavad Gita, and we're also going to read the 25 most important verses of the Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Veena Mataji, Anita Mataji, and Ruby Mataji, thank you for joining. So, as you know, the Gita Jayanti is coming in a few weeks, so it's a good idea to memorize Bhagavad Gita verses, understand and follow in our lives. I'm sure all of you know some verses of the Bhagavad Gita, and maybe you can take a goal to memorize 5, 10, 20, 50, as per your situation and desire, verses. And we are doing this in the youth session also. Some have taken challenge of 25, some 50, some 75, and some 108. So it's not hard. If we do it regularly, it will become easy. Okay, so we will recite these verses. It's धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सव मामका पाण्डवश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय कार्पण्यदोषोपहत्स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता यत् श्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मूयति मात्रा स्पर्शस्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखद आगमापायिनो नित्यस्तां स्थितिक्ष्व भारत नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैकर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव स्वपाके च पंडित समदर्शिनः. Will anyone like to recite? Maybe you all can try 3 verses, 3 or 4 verses, if you're feeling inspired. Anyone wants to?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can try.
Yes.
Mata paratram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya मयि सर्वम् इदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव दैवी ह्या एषा गुणामयी मम माया दुरात्तया माम् एवा ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायाम् एतां तरन्ति ते अन्तकाले च मामेवा स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं या प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशया हरे कृष्ण
Anyone else wants to try the next few verses? Is in the position to read, so continue. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati anta kalevaram tam tamivaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha Rajavidya rajaguyam pavitramidam uttamam pratyakshavāgamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावम् अजानन्तो मम भूतमहीश्वरम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदं भक्त्युपहारितं नश्नामि प्रयत आत्मनः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो the चतुश्लोकी here 10 8 9 10 11 very important verses अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुद्धभावसमन्विता मच्चित्ता मद्गतः प्राणा बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाश्यामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. Yes, Nita Mataji, you can continue.
Sure, Prabhuji. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहम् एव वेद्यो वेदान्ताकृद्वेदविद् एव चाहम् भक्त्या माम् अभिजानाति यावान् यश्चास्मि तत्त्वता ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तात् अनन्तरम् मन्मना भावमद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु माम् एवस्यासि सत्यं ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽस्मि मे सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य माम् एकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षाय इष्यामि मा शुचा
Hare
हरे कृष्ण
Hare
हरे कृष्ण
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for reciting these 25 verses. Out of the 25, how many you have memorized? Some? 2, 5, 10, something? At least one? Anyone wants to respond?
Maybe 2 or 3, Prabhuji, not more than that. Both.
Okay, no worries. So maybe this month or the next month can take a challenge to offer 25 verses to Lord Krishna on Gita Jayanti. It's not hard, and Krishna will help us. So we will discuss maybe 1 or 2 verses, and we'll see how easy it is to memorize verses. But before even we talk about any activity or any even spiritual activity, why we do something when we know when there is a strong why, then the how becomes easier. For example, let's say a student wants to get into a college, or a student wants to, like, someone say, like, get good grades in the school. Why? Or, study nicely. Why? Or cook good food. Why? When the why is strong, how gets easier. When someone has a strong why, the seemingly difficult things become very easy. So I have a question for all of you. Why to memorize Gita verses? There are multiple reasons, but let's see if you all can think of some reasons, and I'll just jot down. Why to memorize Bhagavad Gita verses? Think of some reasons.
So these verses are in Sanskrit, Prabhuji. So I think it also helps in the memory power.
Okay, so improves memory.
Mhm.
Right. So chanting Sanskrit verses. So maybe you can chant some other words also in Sanskrit, or some other Vedic mantras. Okay, I mean, it's a good reason, not a very strong reason, but a good reason. It's correct. It will help improve memory. What else? Why you should memorize Gita verses?
So we get to read the exact words that came out from the mouth of Krishna. So we get to read that.
Gita is spoken, comes from the lotus mouth, the song of God, mouth of Lord Sri Krishna, who is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this book we are chanting, this book is not just there are many books in Sanskrit in the world. All of them reciting other, will not have the same impact as Gita will not just give material benefit. There are a lot of material benefits like improving immunity, improving memory, etc. But most importantly, it brings us close to Krishna. Very, very important for any spiritual activity. Why do we do it? To remember Krishna. It helps us to remember Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it not? While we are doing this Bhagavad Gita, what are we thinking of? While we are chanting, we're thinking of Krishna, we're thinking of his message, we're thinking of how to apply those teachings the Lord is our Father, our Mother, our friend is sharing, not to Arjuna, but to all of us. So, okay, helps us to remember Krishna. Yes, Veena Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna. Um, I would, can I add the point, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
I agree to your point. Why do we memorize the Gita? On top of that, I would like to add from my side, Gita. We all know that Gita is the universal science of the soul, right? So therefore, it's a timeless. I mean, basically for knowledge, as the other devotee said. Um, and of course, it also, the more we preach, the more we involve into it, we inculcate on daily basis. So it teaches us how to find inner peace even during difficult challenges. Um, I would like to add these are few points from my side.
Beautiful points. So it gives us knowledge of the universal science of soul, right? The five main topics. What are the five main topics? Atma, soul, Paramatma, second. What else?
Prakriti, time.
Prakriti, nature, and time is kal.
Time.
What else? And
And
karma, action. Okay. Okay. And I'll share something beautiful. Yeah, this line. In conclusion, as souls living in the material world, we perform activities, actions within the jurisdiction of time, though we actually belong in the spiritual world with God. So Atma, and in the material world, basically nature, right? We are performing actions, activities, karma within the space of time, but we actually belong to spiritual world. So it's a beautiful sentence, like Gita in one sentence. So where were we? Yeah, here. So these are the 5 topics. So it teaches us how to lead life in all situations, ups and downs, heat and cold, wealth or poverty, name, fame, etc. So the more, I mean, going back to like specifically memorizing verses, someone will say, well, okay, I don't need to memorize, I can just read the English, right? So both are correct, right? But there is special power of memorizing. In one beautiful verse, Queen Kunti says when she's reciting the verses, Krishna becomes happy. It's a beautiful reason. What's the goal of life? To give joy to the Lord. It's a mood of Vrindavan. To give joy to Krishna. The mood of pure devotee is to give joy to Krishna. The mood of neophyte devotee is Krishna, you give me joy. Krishna, I want to extract from you as much as I can. But a pure devotee, Krishna, I want to give you as much as I can because it will make you happy, it will make Guru happy. My happiness secondary, Guru and Krishna's happening, right? Guru and Gauranga, right? Guru and Krishna, basically. Basically, Krishna becomes happy if we read these verses, if we memorize these verses. And if we, let's say, if we memorize these verses, we will be engaged. We'll have something meaningful, productively engaged. Because the mind is, like a devil's workshop, right? We say empty mind, devil's workshop. So if we don't have these days, we don't even remember phone number. Like I know, like when I was a child, we used to dial numbers. We used to remember a lot of numbers, right? You have similar experiences? We used to remember a lot of, oh, this is aunt's number, uncle's number, father's number. But these days I don't even remember doing 3, 4 contact numbers, right? Or addresses, everything Google, everything, phone, just dial. And so we are not using what we don't use, we lose. So it's the best way, rather than remembering cricket score, football score, the names of actor, actresses, that will not lead us anywhere. But we remember Gita verses, and when we remember, it's very natural, it will echo in our heart from head to heart, from information to transformation, right? And we'll be productively engaged. What else? Any other thoughts about why to memorize Gita verses? Anyone else wants to share? Okay. And very, it's devotional service, right? Anything in connection with Krishna is devotional service or bhakti yoga. Memorizing songs of this world is not bhakti yoga. Remembering the song of God is bhakti yoga. Beautiful. By memorizing, we can purify ourselves. Beautiful. And also utilize the lessons in our day-to-day life, right? Yes, it leads to purification. Like someone bathes in Ganga, will he get purified? Will he get purified? Absolutely. Whether they know the importance of Ganga or not. Malini mochanam pumsam jalasnana dine dine sakrit gītāmrita snana sansara malanashanam. Sansar mal ka nash ho jayega. We'll purify. We will we will purify ourselves and also utilize the lessons. I'll make that a second point. So we will, in day-to-day life, like for example, everyone has anger issues, everyone has, loud speaking, or most people have these issues. Anger, how to overcome anger, Gita talks about it. How to control mind, Gita talks about it. How to lead a balanced life, Gita talks about it. What to do in health or disease, loss of a dear one, everyone goes through that, right? So I hope this was meaningful. Now we will take one or two verses today from chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. And our goal is to memorize this verse, read the verse, translation, purport, and understand it. All of you know Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. This is the last chapter. And 18 chapter has how many verses? If someone can answer that, I think it's a Mahaprasad, Laddu. 18 chapters. 78, I believe. Oh yes, 78. Just confirming. Which is the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita?
Is it
Yeah,
second chapter, Prabhuji?
second chapter. Okay. Um, so second chapter has how many verses? I think very close, 75 or something. 72.
Oh,
So
okay.
actually, 18th chapter is the longest chapter now. And second chapter is 72. So these, I mean, these are not very important things to remember, but it's good, right? It's good. This could be a question of Kahoot, which is the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now we know the answer, right? Just to make life interesting. Okay, so it's towards the end. 78 verses. This is the 58th verse. Lord Krishna has given all the knowledge to Arjuna and clarified all his doubts, questions, concerns. Now he's kind of wrapping up, right? Like a teacher wraps up the class in the last couple of minutes. So, for how long the Gita was spoken? Anyone knows? How many minutes or hours or days Gita was spoken?
I think it's in years.
In years? But Krishna kept speaking for years and Arjuna was hearing for years. How long was the battle of Kurukshetra? It was before the war, right? Everyone knows that. It was before the war. The war was about to begin. That's the context, right? Everyone knows this context, right? When was Gita spoken? Before the Battle of Kurukshetra, about 5,000 and a few hundred years back. 5,100 something. Where was it spoken? Jyotisar, Kurukshetra. Before that's where the battle happened at Kurukshetra, Dharmashetre, Kurukshetra. Jyotisar is the place. You can still go. Anyone goes next time, please try to visit. If you're especially in the north area. My brother studied there in is a college, NIT Kurukshetra. And last time when we went to India, we all went with my family, extended family. It was beautiful.
Where was it again, Prabhuji? Kurukshetra?
Yeah, Kurukshetra, and there's a place called Jyotisar. Like Kurukshetra is a bigger city, and the specific spot is called Jyotisar.
What temple is that again?
I mean, Jyotisar, there's a temple. I mean, if you go there like as Jyotisar, you can easily go. Like you can search for like Jyotisar, you'll easily find it on Google also.
Okay, thank you.
So the war was 18 days, right? Everyone knows this, right? So 18 days. So the Gita was spoken before the war. In a beautiful example, devotees shared that our day is like a war. Every day is like, isn't it like a war? Okay, around 7, 8 a.m. Then the kids are running and here and there. Okay, get up, time to go to school. And husband says, oh, I need lunch. I have to go. I have meeting, this, that. Don't bother me. Oh, the bus is coming. The car is coming. The carpool is coming. Oh, you're not ready yet. You're not get out of the bed. Okay, oh my God, my work. There's so many things. Every day is a battle, which begins around 7, 8, 9 a.m. So much to do. In the midst of so much chaos, battle, Arjuna took time to reflect and ask his teacher. So that's what the morning sadhana is. And those who do that, they can easily relate to it that before my Kurukshetra begins every day, if I have the message of Krishna through chanting, through reading, hearing, Mangalarti, etc., then then Krishna will guide us. Krishna will become our Sarthi. Krishna will become our guide, mentor. So the war was 18 days, and the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, were spoken in about 48 minutes. It's called one Mahurata. One Mahurata is 48 minutes. In Mahurata is like a duration of time. Like hour is 60 minutes, so Mahurata, like you will call it Brahma Mahurata, right? So is it okay now? 48 minutes. So let's now, you're almost 18th chapter, 58 words. Mच्चित्त सर्वदुर्गानि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् न श्रोष्यसि विनश्यसि मच्चित्त सर्वदुर्गानि मत्प्रसादात् तरिष्यसि अथ चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारान् न श्रोष्यसि विनश्यसि. Anyone would like to try beside this?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Machchita sarvadurgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atha chetatvam ahankaran na sroyasi vinakshayasi vinanshayasi. Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Anyone wants to read? Ruby Mataji, are you in a position to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharmatpran Prabhuji, I'm outside Prabhuji.
Okay, no worries. Meena Mataji, you want to read the translation?
Yeah, absolutely. Hare Krishna, everyone. So should I start from translation or purport?
Translation first.
Okay. Give me that just a second. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. I would like to start with the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Purport. A person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friends' comfort and he gives himself comfort and sorry, I'm getting lost. 1 second. My screen is like really here. Okay. Sorry. And he gives himself to his friend who is so devotedly engaged working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is promoted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
so much, Mataji.
Krishna.
So beautiful verse and purport. We can put this for ourselves, or it's not like for anyone and everyone. For one means anyone and everyone. Basically, if we act in Krishna consciousness, right, Lord Krishna will become our intimate friend. That's what being said here. He will always look after us, his intimate friend. We can become intimate friend. How can we become? By acting in Krishna consciousness. He will always give himself for us or his friend if we become his intimate friend. That means if we act in Krishna consciousness. How? To be engaged 24 hours a day to please the Lord. So every day we can ask, did I do something today to please the Lord? For a pure devotee, 24 hours is pleasing the Lord. But at least we can think of a few hours a day, start with. And it's not that we can only please the Lord by chanting. Yes, that's one way. But having a proper mindset, even when we're doing grocery shopping, we can please the Lord. Even when we are fueling the car, we can please the Lord if we have the right mindset, Krishna conscious mindset. So one should not falsely think that one is independent, but actually we are all, dependent by the laws of Prakriti Kriyamanani Guna Karmani Sarvasha. We are caught up in this Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, the strings. We're caught up in the chains. But the moment we act in Krishna consciousness, one becomes free from those chains. One is no more bound by Maya. One is bound by the love of the Lord. Free from material perplex. So the Maya cannot touch that person. That's the whole point here. Atha, Machitta Sarva Durgani. If you think of me, Machitta, become conscious in me. Sarva Durgani. What does Durgani mean? Why is this material world called Durga? Or who is Durga? Durga means fort, and Durga is the fortress. This material world is called a fortress. So Durga Devi is her job, her trident, right? What is the job of the trident? She carries a trident, right? Sitting on the lion, which represents death. And she carries a trident. What does a trident mean? Anyone knows? Trishul, Durga Devi ka Trishul. Anita Mataji, you know this?
No, Prabhuji.
So it means three things. Adi, Bhautik, right? Adi, Atmik, Adi, Devik. So misery is caused by one's own body, mind, stress, anxiety, misery is caused by other living beings. Adi bhautik, right? Neighbor bothering, husband bothering, wife bothering, children bothering, parents, in-laws, neighbors, mosquito, other living beings, right? Friends, relatives, right? These days, relationships, big issue everywhere. Adi devik, caused by demigods, floods, hurricanes, forest fires, volcanoes, nature. So we're all in this grip, and Christmas sale going on. Diwali sale, Christmas sale, New Year, Thanksgiving, birth, old age, disease, and death, plus these three, right? We're all troubled. But if what? If one is Krishna conscious, सर्व दुर्गानी सारे प्रॉब्लम से छूट जाएगा वो। मत प्रसादात, भगवान के प्रसाद से, Krishna's mercy. Prasad means mercy. Prasadat tarishyasi, tar jayega. Right? Not so hard. You see how we are linking? Matchitta sarvadurgani. Okay? Good. Mat prasadat tarishyasi. This is the positive side. Krishna is giving. Okay, if you follow this path, the path of bhakti, you'll be free from all the obstacles. You'll be free from all the impediments. You'll be free from all the challenges. Look at the next two lines. You know, in computers we have like the if logic, right? Are you Krishna conscious? Right? Yes. Then the part one applies. The answer is a you have a choice here. If you take to bhakti, if the answer is no, then part two will apply. Atha chetom ahankara. But if you work by your own ahankara, oh, I know better. Oh, I know how to live life. Oh, I am very intelligent. I can figure out on my own. Oh, I don't need guru. I don't need shastra. नहीं सुनेगा. ना श्रोष्यसि. Do not hear. श्रवण नहीं करते. उसका विनाश हो जाएगा. विनश्यसि. So we have a choice. Do we want to be in this category? Category one, that means we take to Krishna consciousness. If we don't, Krishna is not going to force. If we don't become Machitta, if we don't try to absorb ourselves in Krishna consciousness, we will struggle. We will be lost. We will be destroyed. Destroyed means what? I'm going to say, no, well, I have good job and look at that person. That person doesn't go do any Krishna, but he is a millionaire or billionaire. They'll be destroyed means what? They'll be destroyed of the real aim of human form of life. That is to purify ourselves and go back home, back to God. This life, they may be billionaire, but they could be an ant in the next life. They could become a worm in the next life. They could become a beggar on the street in the next life. So we have to see long term. Is it all making sense or making things easier to understand? Any comments, any thoughts?
It's good, Prabhuji. Very good.
So okay, let's take some reflections in this verse. One who is not active will be lost in material world. Not shoshasi, vinanshasi, in the ocean of birth and death. So no conditioned soul. We are all conditioned soul. We don't know what's right, what's wrong. How will we know? By acting in Krishna consciousness. Through Guru, through Sadhu, through Shastra. through spiritual master. So clearly mentioned how to be Krishna conscious. Are you all getting now familiar? Any thoughts on this verse or comments? Yes. Anita Mataji, you have anything to share in this connection?
Yes, Prabhuji. So for like as in the purport, Prabhupada explained that those who comes into Krishna consciousness, I mean, they are kind of not lost or like they are not confused due to the material in the material world. So yeah, that is very much in my experience too. So the confusions are still there, but not as like as much as it used to be earlier. Now we are able to straighten out the things. Like now we know that we have to keep Krishna in center, so things becomes easy. We don't get entangled in our thoughts so much as like we used to get earlier. So definitely it helps.
Wonderful. So what's the translation of this verse? Who recalls the part one, part two? Can you paraphrase in your own words? The English. I'm not talking about the Sanskrit.
What was the meaning of Durgani, Prabhuji? Machita Sarva Durgani?
Impediments, obstacles, kleshas, difficulties.
Okay, so those who are always thinking of Krishna, the impediments of this material world vanquishes, I think, by the mercy of Krishna. Because the second line says that Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi.
Graciously beautiful. Wow, you have a strong memory.
So yeah, that was the first part. And second part was if you don't do that, if you don't remember Krishna, then you will be confused. Or if you are in false ego, which was the third line. Yeah, so.
Excellent. Atha chetam ahankara, if you work by your ahankara, na shroshasi, nahi sunoge Guru Sadhu Shastra ki Krishna ki vinanshasi, will be lost in this ocean of birth and death. So everyone got the two parts. So now let's try to see how much Sanskrit words you remember or we remember. Who remembers a little bit from here and there? Please try. The more we try, the more we kind of think, the more we'll be able to retain. What's the first line?
Machita Sarva Durgani.
Machita Sarva Durgani. Beautiful.
Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi.
Tarishyasi. Excellent.
Atha Cha
Cheta.
Cheta Tvam Ahankara
Beautiful.
Sarishash Na Sarishosi
Shrosyasi. Shravanam. Na
Srosyasi.
Shrosyasi is like a tongue twister.
Srosyasi, yeah.
Vinashas.
Vinakshyatati.
Vinash. Okay. Let's everyone see this again. It's not hard. We have already memorized maybe 30, 50% or 70%. Let's recite it a few more times and then we'll recite it without seeing. It was a beautiful verse. It's a beautiful meditation to begin our day, right? It's a beautiful formula to make Krishna a dear, intimate friend. He'll always be there for. Now think of how many of you, be honest, would like to make the president your friend or prime minister. I'm not going into politics or not talking about any individual here, but influential people. let's say Miss World, Mr. World, or the richest person of the world, would you not like, okay, मेरा भी कुछ इसके साथ बातचीत हो जाए तो, maybe I'll get some business deal, maybe I'll get some, people like it. What to speak of being their intimate friend, even a selfie they'll like publish, oh, I met whatever, Ronaldo, let's say. A soccer player would like to have a selfie with him. Someone is beauty conscious, maybe, oh, selfie with beauty queen. Someone is business conscious, oh, I met Warren Buffett, right? Or I met, Mukesh Ambani. Won't they like to meet and post? Be honest, right? Won't they not post? Hmm? Won't they like to meet those people? And what are they in front of Krishna? They're a spark of his splendor, a very insignificant spark of his splendor. So we should try to make Krishna our intimate friend, they're not just talking about selfie. Some people come in the altar, and it's written, don't take selfies with the Lord. Take Lord with yourself. Wow, it was interesting. Don't take selfies with the Lord. The Lord is saying, I am willing to become your Sarthi, right? I am willing to, he gives himself, right? That's what he's saying. Take me with yourself. Don't just take selfie. Take me with yourself. And I'll become your most intimate friend. If beautiful words to remember. And we'll be free from all the obstacles. By his mercy, he's always thinking of our comfort. He's always there to help us. And if we do not do so, if not step one, then we end up in the struggle. Machchitta sarva durgani mat prasadat rishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran nashosyasi vinansyasi. Okay, everyone has to memorize. That's so. Who has memorized? First, everyone, please try to recite this. Who would like to recite with seeing, and then we'll do without seeing. It's on the screen, so you can recite. You're in a position to speak up. Anita Mataji, Vena Mataji, are you able to?
Yeah, I can, Prabhuji, if the devotees are not able to.
Yeah, please do, Mataji.
Machchita sarva durgani matprasadat tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran na sroshyasi vinansyasi.
Okay, now it's our turn. So you see how we broke the words into different parts. We understood the meaning of most of the Sanskrit words. We may not Sanskrit scholar, but at least it's not very hard if you know Hindi and some other native Indian languages. So it becomes easy. Break down the bigger task into small parts. The first line talks about Machchitta. Or Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakta. Krishna says Machchitta. Man ko mere Machchitta. Chitta, invest your heart in me. Machchitta. Sarva Durga. If you do that, Sarva Durgani. सभी obstacles से क्या होगा? By my mercy, Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi. So beautiful. It's complete in itself. Mat Chitta Sarva Durgani Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi. Those who invest their heart in Krishna, they'll never be the loser. Rather, they'll be free from all the bondage. But Athat Cheta, right? But coming. But if someone does not do it, and they work by Ahankara, Athat Ahankara, Nashosyasi Vinansyasi, destroyed. Yes, who wants to try without seeing? Yes, Anita Mataji, you want to try?
Yes, Prabhuji. Machita sarva durgani matprasadat tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran na sroshyasi vinangshasi.
Wonderful.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Did you ever recall reading this verse before?
No, Prabhuji, never. I don't think. I mean, I would have definitely read, but I don't recall.
How do you feel after memorizing in just like 10, 20 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's a beautiful feeling. It's like building relationship with the verse, right? Don't you feel now connected to it, right? We feel connected. Krishna is non-different from Gita, or Gita, any verse is non-different from Krishna. When we spend time with the verse, we feel that connection. We'll derive newer and newer meanings. We'll be able to like digest it so smoothly, like a puree, like a nectar. We could have hurried and just, okay, next, next, next. But now this verse you'll never forget. If you have invested a little bit time, 1858, Bhagavad Gita, Machitta, Sarva Durgani, Mat Prasada, Krishna, you can do some actions also. By when we invest our heart, our mind, Machitta, Sarva Durgani, all the obstacles are destroyed. Krishna removes them by his mercy. Athachet tvam ahankara. If you don't know, I know better, my way, right? Athachet tvam ahankara na shrosyasi uska vinash, vinanshas. Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts? Anyone else wants to recite this verse? So now you have one more verse in your like memory list, right? So you see, if we give even 10, 15 minutes to a verse, we'll not just memorize it, we'll understand it, we'll develop a connection with it. Don't we feel absorbed? What's the goal of Bhakti Yoga? To absorb ourselves in Krishna. When we are doing this, our mind hopefully is not thinking of office tomorrow or dinner or she said, he said, right? So this is a great way of absorption. Anything else before we wrap up for today? Any comments, questions, complaints? Okay, so we discussed a little bit about Gita, discussed the 25 important verses of Gita, or we read them. We focus on why to memorize, a little bit on how to memorize, and then finally we discuss 1858 and we memorize that verse. So now a great way to memorize or to not lose it from our memory is to share. So now when you meet with your family members, friends, etc., phone or in person, share this. It takes only 10-15 seconds to speak up a verse. Tell that. Even if they don't want to hear, just share, right? Everyone says, oh, kya chal raha hai life mein? Nothing new, right? Everyone, theek hai, you are okay, I'm okay, everyone. Start with, okay, I have a new verse to share with you. It takes only 1 minute. Can I share? Machitta sarva durgani, mat prasada tarishyasi. Hata chetom ahankara na shroshasi viranshasi. I read this beautiful verse, just thought to share with you. Thank you for giving me chance to recite it. Now, if they say, oh, I want to know more, what does it mean? Oh, wow, you memorized it. I want to know more. See, that gives you an opportunity to share Krishna consciousness. You can read the translation, you can read the purport, you can explain in your own words. Hare Krishna. Sunita Mataji, you unmuted. You have something to share?
No, Prabhuji, I just forgot to mute myself. But yeah, no, thank you so much for the now I will remember, but again, like I have to practice like every day or maybe at certain interval, otherwise I'll forget. But at least for the time being, I memorized it.
Yes, practice, practice, practice. It's for everything. Thank you so much. We'll pause here. Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta
Yeah.
Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha, Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.